A lot of these growers treat their Mexicans, their Filipinos, with a certain paternalism. They come back every year to help me out, you know. And they take them right back to the same old shacks.
Luis Valdez, one of the leaders of the NFWA.
I don't think any of these places really speak of prosperity or security of any sort.
None of those guys that live in the conditions that they expect Mexicans or farm workers to live in.
This town is way off the freeway, so you never see it. And people aren't wise to the fact that thousands and thousands of people are living like this, and they're farm workers. I mean, I can remember this when I was a kid. We used to do this, just settle for anything. And then you try to find work, you try to stay alive, you try to find something to support your family with. You actually begin to develop your own sense of values, you know. I mean, some shacks are better than other shacks, you know, but they're all shacks.
You live in all kinds of conditions. We lived in barns, old army tents, sometimes by the side of the road in our car when we hadn't located a camp yet, sometimes for 2 or 3 days. And, you know, all this time, too, you'd pass towns, and they'd have all these neat homes, these neat, decent homes that are well-painted and with lawns. And you'd wonder, why can't I have that? You know, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I went to school very much like this.
You're in one school, and you're out, and you're in another school. You wander around from camp to camp. How about camp life? Why should people have to live in camps? Who says they have to live in camps? And why should they have to wander, you know, several hundred miles to earn their living?
My family spent, well, approximately 10 years just moving around like this, you know, from one end of the state to the other, from one camp to another. And it gets so you get a very lost feeling, and you wonder what you're up to. You're just fighting for your own survival. And you stay in these little places, and you find out how terrible they are. They offer no protection at all. It's just a place to hide the people, really. And it's unfair that people should have to live in these camps, particularly when they work all summer long, keep the richest agricultural state in the country afloat. And then after summer's gone, they're asked to leave these camps and to move on. The whole system kind of encourages migrant life of the farm worker. And in the wintertime, he's reduced to welfare. And you get grown men and women that are used to doing all kinds of hard work, reduced to, well, begging. You go and you accept whatever they give you. And it's unfair. It's unfair when you help to keep the richest state, agriculturally speaking, you know, in the nation, moving through the summer, to be reduced to such a helpless position where you have to accept things from the state.
You want me to bring the cart over there?
And why should the taxpayer who pays for welfare have to take the pressure that should rightfully belong to the grower?
You'll have to bring this for me the next time you come, please, ma'am.
Accepting commodities, products handed out without labels. You never know how important a label is sometimes. It shows that you bought something. These commodities are without labels. They just by looking at them, you know that they're charity. Well, that's not good enough. That's unfair. That's an injustice when you think about it. It's unbearable when you have to live through it. That's why the union was founded. This is what we want to eliminate. We want to establish some security and some dignity for ourselves, a dignity based on dollars and cents, I guess. Yeah, we need money. Money that we've earned already. We want our share.
What do the farm workers need, in your opinion, to better their condition, to get out of camps like this?
They need more money.
How do they get more money?
You remember I said I didn't want to go.
C.V. Roberts, director of the Wasco Farm Labor Camp, a Kern County-operated camp for migrant laborers.
You're asking me to answer off the cuff now. I don't care to do this.
Okay, let me ask you this. What do you think of the idea of a union for farm workers?
I think it's ridiculous.
Why do you say that?
Well, I won't go into that with you either. You ask me what I think. This is what I think. I will say this. Farm wages in the last 12 months right in this area has increased from $1.10 to $1.60 an hour.
Isn't that because of the strike?
No, that had nothing whatever to do with it.
What is that because of?
I'm not going to go on into these questions with you.
One other question. Do you think that without a union, the farm workers can improve their condition and create better?
It has been done right here.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit.
Is this camp evidence of that?
This camp has greatly improved in the last year.
Mm-hmm. Would you want to live?
Since I have been here.
Would you want to live in this camp?
I wouldn't live here. You know, you're being very impudent.
Would
I want to live here? This is, I call, an impudent question.
Will you run the camp?
I won't answer any more of your questions. I've been here a year and a half, and it's improved greatly since I came here.
Cesar Chavez was born in California and spent his youth moving from one agricultural labor camp to another. In his 20s, he worked with Mexican-American community organizations in the cities, but still he felt the greatest need was in the fields. Finally, in 1962, he returned to them to found the NFWA.
Su papá grande. Oh yeah? He was born in Colorado. Her father was born here and went to Mexico to fight the Mexican Revolution. I said that's where she gets the spirit. I was telling her that she's very brave, and that it was people like this that made the other unions, and that the unfortunate thing is that many people, or some people in unions, complain, you know, about dues and meetings, but these people don't know what the founders of these unions had to go through to be able to build, you know, what they have. And all they know is that they have a good wage and they have beautiful fringe benefits and everything, you know. And all they can see now is because they weren't involved in the building of that union, just dues, you know, and they tend to not be critical. Hello. How are you?